Hey, what's up everybody? It's me, YemmytheFerret here with another episode of YemmyCast, a video game podcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, and Spotify. That is correct. If you're listening on any of those other platforms, thank you so much. I appreciate you nonetheless. If you're here for the premiere of this podcast episode on Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, thank you so much. How is everyone doing today? The podcast also uploads on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time as well, and it's available the same day on all other platforms as well, so you don't have to wait. Still getting back into the swing of things. Episode 50 was a live stream. If you want to, the edited version, audio only, is on all other platforms. YouTube, the archived stream version, is available to watch in full length if you want to. Last episode was mostly just news that came out during the time of after episode 50, and today we're going to be talking all about the Nintendo Switch Lite. That's right, the rumors of a mini Switch console were mostly correct, except for like the name of the console, and some aspects of the look of the console are a little bit different than what was predicted as well, but everything is looking to be a crackerjack time, old boy, for the Switch Lite. The Switch Lite is officially been revealed, and it's releasing the 20th of September this year. Retail price is about $200, give or take, depending on where you live or where taxes are. And there's going to be special editions. There's different colors as well, and lots of new and improved features about it, but also they took away some things for it as well. So we'll go in depth about those types of things. Right now, the trailer was pretty good for this. It didn't cater to children, even though the console probably is mostly made for kids with smaller hands, or maybe more so for people on the go as well. The Switch is a little bit bigger than this console. The battery life isn't as good as they say, and I think that people who are more so on the go, I think this is going to be a great item for them to be able to purchase, because damn, this thing it's pocket size. Well, not really pocket size, but it's about the size of like a big or a regular iPad. I don't know how those things are pretty big now, but it's a pretty good, decent size, and it has all the features that you would want on it, minus some that the regular Switch would have. So let's talk about the special edition that is coming out for this first. The special edition is going to be for Pokemon Sword and Shield, and the console is going to be a lighter gray than the dark gray console that we already saw, or that we'll see in a little bit. It's going to have purple and blue buttons, and it's also going to release with the Pokemon games. It's going to be $200 still, and it's going to feature Zakan and Zamazenta on the back. There's little drawings of them on the back of it. It's going to be launching a little bit later than most models, because it's going to be in November. The 8th of November is the planned release of this console, along with the game, Pokemon Sword and Shield, which I believe is the 15th. So maybe this game doesn't come with it, but it is a nice style, and if you want to wait for it, sure. So right here it says in the article, it does not appear to include a copy of either the Pokemon games. Okay, well, that's kind of weird. A console with that is this style with no games. Although they did that with the 3DS. I think there was like a Pikachu edition that didn't have any games with it. So I guess it's normal Nintendo stuff. All right, so what are the key differences between the Switch and the Switch Lite? To kick things off, the console is relatively smaller. It's about 3.6 inches high and 8.2 inches long, compared to 4 inches high and 9.4 inches long with the Joy-Cons attached to the regular model. It's probably like one Joy-Con less in length, I would say, and it's a little bit shorter, just a little bit shorter. It's going to have an audio jack on it, and all the other buttons, like for volume and stuff, are there as well. And all the regular buttons are about the same, except for the control pad is now an actual D-pad instead of it just being physical buttons like it is on the Switch. There's going to be a USB connector and a micro SD slot as well, in a little bit more accessible area than it would be on the Switch. This version doesn't have a kickstand either, like the regular Switch does, so I guess that would probably save a little bit of space on the device as well. So instead of you being able to do tabletop mode, TV mode, and handheld mode all together, like with the regular Switch, this version is going to be handheld only. There's no way to connect it to your TV as of right now, and I think that saves a little bit on costs and stuff like that. You don't have to include a stand and or you won't have a docking station along with it. So there's no way to connect it to the TV. It's also not going to have the HD rumble or the IR motion camera, two things that are kind of standard on the Switch nowadays, and a lot of games actually use those things as well. The HD rumble was pretty much only used in like the 1-2 Switch, and I think The Legend of Zelda and Mario Odyssey also use it, and Mario Party, of course, uses it as well. And the IR motion camera is good for games that require motion controls like Mario Odyssey and stuff like that. Skyrim also utilizes the motion controls as well. Those you'll have to use a separate Joy-Con. You have to connect 2 new Joy-Cons to the console as well. So if you already have a Switch and you got the Switch Mini because, I want to do it more portable, this is no hassle for you. This doesn't matter to you. But for a person who this is their Switch and this is their first console of Nintendo's in a while, since like the Wii or something like that, it may be a little bit constricting to have to buy, or pricey. It's going to be pricey too. They'll have to buy a whole new set of Joy-Cons to play with your device. So right now, the regular Switch is about $300, and it launched in 2017. The Nintendo Switch Lite is, of course, going to be $200, as I already said. All the games are compatible with the Nintendo Switch Lite. Like I said, the only thing that you'll have to do is buy extra Joy-Cons, which they might have to put onto as a disclaimer, maybe on the box or on in the packaging or on the games themselves, to make sure that people know, hey, if you want Mario Party for the Switch Lite, you will have to buy an extra pair of Joy-Cons or have another pair of Joy-Cons. So let's see what comes with the Switch Lite. Right now, it doesn't look like there's much. It's just, a AC adapter and a console. That's pretty much it. So you'll be able to charge your device, and you'll be able to hold your device in your hand and play with it. So there's going to be no kickstand, no HDMI cables, no docking, no extra whistles. Just a regular console. The weight of this is about 0.88 pounds. I'm sorry, it's 0.61 pounds compared to 88 pounds, which is the regular Switch. The screen is going to be about 5.5 inches. It's going to be a touch screen still, and it's still going to be 720p. The regular Switch is 6.2 inches, and it's 720p as well. The battery life is going to be about 3 to 7 hours, and the regular Switch is about 2.5 to 6.5. I've never really had a problem with the charge on my consoles. I've played plenty of games, but it really depends on the amount of stuff going on the screen. If you're playing a game like SteamWorld Quest, it's going to take a little bit less battery power than playing Breath of the Wild. And they both come with 32 gigabytes of memory, standard, and you can always upgrade that with the micro SD card. There are 3 different colors available: cyan, yellow, and dark gray. They call it turquoise, not cyan. I apologize. That was my copier repairman coming out. So they have turquoise, yellow, and gray. And like I said, there's going to be the special Pokemon edition coming out later. Right now, you're not able to transfer files between Switch and Switch Lite, but they say eventually you will be able to do that. So, talking to CNET, the new Nintendo of America president, Doug Bowser, said, yes, you will have the ability to transfer between devices, your gameplay experiences. More to come on there, but that is the situation. So right now they don't have a way of doing that, but hopefully by the time that the console comes out, they'll say, yes, now you can transfer SD card, you can, do whatever with it. I'm not sure if this console will be like the GameCube, where if you tried and plugged your memory card into a different person's GameCube, it would have to reformat to use it. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully you will be able to either do a wireless transfer or something like that. That would be really, really nice to have. So right now the ability to do that is not there, but they did say that, yes, it hopefully will be coming soon. Where can you get the Nintendo Switch Lite? Yemmy, where can you get the Nintendo Switch Lite? Pretty much any retailer that you can think of. Amazon, Best Buy, GameStop, EB Games, even like off the cuff game carriers on websites will also house it as well. Me personally, right now, I'm not looking into it. There are 2 people in the house, and sometimes we do need to use the Switch at the same time or want to use the Switch at the same time. But right now, really, we either play co-op games or it's on the go, driving long trips that we use it. And I think a Switch Mini would be nice to have, especially if you're someone who's on the go a lot and you're usually in the passenger seat, or maybe you need to switch off between 2 people. And there are the car chargers available as well, which I'm sure they would work with the Switch just fine, or the Switch Lite just fine. I don't see a reason to doubt that. So since the Switch reveal, the Switch Lite reveal, Nintendo share stock has actually risen to the highest point in over 9 months. Right now, the console or right now the stock has risen about as 4.5%, which has reached about 41,000 yen, which has been its peak in the last 9 months. Right now, the last peak was at 41,000 yen, which was in the around the 8th of July, and it's been down to 40,000 since July 10th, and now on the day that it was actually announced, it's gone over 4,780 yen, and it's probably still growing a little bit. It did dip a little bit, but it's gone back up. So, Dr. Sirkin Toto said the following. He is from Kantan Games. He said, investors should see the Switch as a way for Nintendo to substantially increase the install base and prolong the lifecycle of the console for years. This device will be a mega hit. That's what he is predicting. Wedbush Securities analyst Michael Patcher expects the console to be supply constrained towards the end of the year, estimating that it will ship 8.5 million units during the fiscal year and 11.5 units the following year. He describes the Switch Lite as the right product at the right time. I think they're talking about this in contrary to like the 2DS or something like that, where the consoles came out and it was towards the end of the life cycle of the consoles. I call the DS a console. Like I don't know why you guys wouldn't. 3DS is a console. And they didn't sell as well. Same thing with like the Nintendo Wii. The Wii had several variants at the end of its life cycle that took away things that were important to the console, like online connectivity, and they didn't sell as well, and many people didn't even know probably about them. The Wii U pretty much only had one console through its life cycle. I think we know why. So despite the Switch Lite's limitations, Nintendo game devs said they're still going to utilize the features of the original Switch. Talking to the Time magazine, Doug Bowser said this about the developers. Our developers will be very focused on the Nintendo Switch flagship device and building games that utilize the capability of that machine. With the vast majority of existing games already compatible with both devices, that shouldn't be as much of an issue. But we really want developers to focus on making sure that there are great gaming experience on both platforms, and it's based on the type of game they want to build. If they want to build a game that uses much more motion control, for instance, the flagship Nintendo Switch device will be the right one, but you can still potentially using Joy-Cons played on the Nintendo Switch Lite. So they're trying to be like, yeah, you can still you can technically still use it, for the other games, but there's some strings attached to it. This all sounds familiar from the 2DS release, like I said, the 3DS and the 2DS, and you saw that there were a few games using the 3D stuff on the original 3DS, which made the 2DS a very profitable system, even though it was still not as good of a selling, as the regular 3DS. We'll see where this goes, because it's potential that we'll see less and less motion controls, less and less HD Rumble, utilizing games. We've already seen a decline of motion controls and HD Rumble games as well. I personally have not played one that utilizes either of those features since Mario Odyssey, and Mario Party is a given. I don't really count that as like a new development. It's just of course it's going to use those things because it's Mario Party. It's used motion controls and stuff like that since the inception of like the 3DS and the Wii. And so Doug Bowser went on to say that Nintendo will continue to support the 3DS line of systems even though there is the Switch Lite coming out. So he's quoted as saying, "We'll continue to support the 3DS family and systems as long as there is the demand." Doug also made a similar comment around the time of E3 when he was talking to Time magazine as well. Our 3DS business continues to do quite well. Retailers continue to support both the hardware and the software. And as long as there is consumer demand for the 3DS, we'll continue to support it. In fact, we believe it's a great entry point for young gamers. A 2DS at $80 with a game included is a great value proposition for a young gamer coming to the Nintendo ecosystem. In a separate issue with the team from Game Explained during E3, Nintendo's Bill Triton said the 3DS was still an important device for the company. I think, yeah, the 3DS is so widespread. I still have a 3DS in here somewhere. I swear it's in here. I have a game for it. Pokemon Omega Ruby. I have a game for it. It's got to be in here somewhere. Where the heck is it? There it is. I still have my 3DS. It's, it's still here. I don't know if it powers on. Yeah, it still has power to it. If you'll notice, I have the 3D turned off because I never really liked the 3D stuff on it, but yeah, look at that. It still powers up. It's still good to go. It's got full battery power. It's probably been in my drawer now for over 2 years without me actually picking it up. So that's pretty good. Then 3DS is like I said, it's a good console. It's not like it's a bad console. It's a great handheld console. It has a lot of great games on it. I never really got into handheld gaming after I became a teenager because I was just at home playing games on my regular console. It wasn't like I was going about and doing things, and even if I was going about and doing things, I was with friends. There were a few road trips in there, like even for school, there was a few where I was utilizing the 3DS a lot, or the 2D, or there was a regular DS Lite that I used for a while too. But it's still a good system, and it has a bunch of games for it, and the bundles that come with these things, the different variants of the device. It still is a competent console, and I don't think the Switch Lite is going to permanently erase it off of the shelves. I think that the Lite's going to, of course, puncture some of the profits from the 3DS, but I don't think it's going to, completely destroy the 3DS and the 2DS models outright. But yeah, that's all the information we have right now on the Switch Lite. What do you guys think of it? Is it a console that you're willing to buy if you have a Switch already? Is it something that you're willing to spend an extra $200 to get just to have? Do you not have a Switch right now, and maybe this is something that looks good to you? Let me know. I'm really interested in knowing, what you guys think of it, and also just in general. Is it going to be worth it? Do you like the changes to it, the battery life, the et cetera, et cetera? I think the one thing that people are going to most miss is the Rumble feature. I mean, we've been playing on consoles and stuff like that with Rumble for a long time. Even the Wii U gamepad had Rumble, if I don't remember correctly. But yeah, that's all I got to say about the Switch Lite. It's an interesting time, and I think that I think it's going to sell. I think it's going to sell just like the 2DS sold and the 3DS XL sold. I think it's going to be fine. Will there be a Switch XL in the future? I'm not sure. I think that they will change things around with the Switch and release a new version of it, but I don't think that they're going to make a mega big Switch version. I think that people like the size of the Switch, and right now, if you don't like the size of it, you can just dock it in the port, and that's it. It becomes a playable on a big screen TV. So yeah, that's all pretty much personal preference there for anyone. So, I have a Yemmy recommends for you guys. This is a new album by Bokassa, and it's called Crimson Raiders. It has more of a hard rock edge to it, but it still has some metal elements in it that makes it a pretty good album. I like the album artwork. It's like a crow with skulls inside of it, and it's got like a draped over like cloak. It's a really cool looking album cover, and the songs are pretty good on this album. It starts off with a really hard-hitting song called Charmed and Extremely Treacherous, and it kind of mellows back a little bit for the rest of the album until it gets to Captain Cold 1, and that's when the album gets a little more heavier. But I think it's still a good album, and I think it's good for people who don't exactly love metal, or like the hardcore metal that like I listen to, and even me as a person who loves screamo and metalcore and djent and stuff like that, I still found enjoyment in this album, and I think you would too. So, Bokassa, Crimson Raiders is this week's Yemmy recommends. Let me know what you think of it, because I'm a little bit on the fence still about it. I might not listen to it a lot, but I still enjoy the album enough to listen to it while I'm in the car or when the song comes on. I'm okay with it. And that came out, I think it came out mid last month or maybe late last month. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of it. And now it's time for the moment that everyone's been waiting for. Everyone is just me. We're going to be opening up a YuGiOh card pack, and as you see, we have a new box. That is right. A new box. We're still looking for that danged Blue Eyes Fusion card. That is the one we're looking for out of all these card packs. During a live stream not too long ago, we got another pretty rare card. We also, during I think our last stream of Peace Death, we found a card that I wasn't sure was in the deck or in the packs, which was the Bones card, the character from the anime Bones, and it was a pretty good card, not too bad. So let's see what we get. I'm sure we're gonna get a magical ghost. As usual, we get some sort of zombie card, Conscription, which is a pretty good trap card, Amazon Spy goes along with a different deck. And on the end, we have Queen's Knight. So not a good start for this pack. But, I'll just add that to the binder, We open up a Yu-Gi-Oh card pack with every podcast and every live stream. So if you want to, you can always check out those. Eventually, if I pull something good enough, it'll come up in the regular series, the Rebuilding My Deck series. But right now, I go, we haven't really pulled something so amazing that I think that it deserves to be, on the channel and under the Rebuilding My Deck series. Those are released every Tuesday if you want to check those out. I've been going back through the anime of Yu-Gi-Oh! And, it's still an enjoyable series, and I still really enjoy it. So that's a Yemmy recommends right there. You get 2 this time. All right. Well, that's it for this episode of YemmyCast. It's just a weekend episode, so it's a little bit shorter. Not too bad. Thank you so much for showing up and listening and all that stuff. If you have any comments about the Switch Lite, I'm all ears. I think the Switch Lite is a good idea. Is it executed as well as they could have? Let me know. Let me know what you think. For anyone who is interested, the Player 2 and Yemmy Power Hour is available now. It comes up every other Friday. We already have episode 2 recorded, which is going to be fantastic. We cover some different topics that you might not think that we would have covered, but we covered them. So that's already available now. And if you want to, the audio version will be going on a separate SoundCloud, which I'll be advertising on Twitter or something like that once I have that all set up. Right now, I don't have it set up yet. I'm a little bit busy, a little bit overclocked with stuff lately. So it'll be coming soon. But yeah, if you want to check that out, you can. I think it's a good series. It's an hour of me and a good friend of mine, Player 2, talking. What could go wrong? A lot of things could go wrong. But we just talk about anything and everything, and we only have an hour to do it. And once the hour is up, that's it. It's all over. So if you want to, you can check that out if you so desire. Also on the channel, nothing really new happening. We're playing through Peace Death right now on live stream. So if you want to, that's an indie game that I recommended from last year. Then I wanted to play through it again, so I am, and I'm doing it live. So if you want to, you can check that out. I believe Monday is going to be the next stream of that, which usually those start around like 4 o'clock. All right, I have been your host, YemmytheFerret. Thank you so much for coming, and this has been an episode of YemmyCast, a video game podcast.